I'm Sid, and these are my best friends. My mom, Kim, my dad, Ty, my sister, Maddie, and our salty dog, Stella. We started our adventure refitting a Lagoon 450 before taking on the massive project of resurrecting a sunken 2021 Leopard 50. It's been one heck of a ride, but we're on this adventure to die with memories, not dreams, and live dauntless.
We're getting close to standing the mast, so let's get this baby out of the shed and over by the boat.
Alright, just to recap what I've done so far is I took the cordless die grinder and I ground out all the little pockets, and then I took some fairing and I faired over the holes. I've done 2 poles of fairing and sanded it, and now we're getting ready to clean it up so that we can put our 2 coats, hopefully 3 coats of barrier on before we do 1 coat of bottom paint on the whole boat.
Alright, let's mix it up.
Alright, so what I've done here, this is a pro tip. We bought a small container of barrier coat, so if I need to do a repair or something later, I'd like to have just a small quantity of material to do those repairs. But I also don't want this stuff to smear everywhere, and anybody that's ever poured paint out of this groove and trying to clean it up, it's a pain in the ass. So I made my own little pour spouts with tape in the groove and made a resistant little pour spout.
Look at that.
And now, here, let me get, this is a 3-to-1 mix, like a lot of epoxies are, and we don't need very much. So I'm gonna come maybe to, I don't know, 6 ounces. This stuff is thick, and I did pre-shake it. Actually, I'm gonna go to 2. Now the activator actually is really thin, so it doesn't need help with a scraper. But I want to make sure this doesn't leak down into my little trough. All right. Now in the meantime, I'll take this and leave it like that, because this is an epoxy. It's not actually going to cure without the presence of the activator. Okay. All right. Lid back on. Now this stuff has to be mixed for 2 minutes straight, and then it needs to sit for 20 minutes for it to induce, or for its induction time. And after that, then that starts the actual curing process. It's epoxy, so this is an exothermic reaction, so it actually is temperature determined. But I'm gonna get all this mixed up for Sydney while she does the sanding and wiping everything down. And then we're only mixing a little bit at a time, because I want to be able to put 3 coats on today, and it really doesn't take very much to cover these small dots. So it's a waterproof barrier between the salt water and the gel coat, which is of course the polyester resin, which can absorb over time water and create blistering, and that's what we're trying to prevent.
Okay, today is mast standing day, but we still have a few things to do before we can put this mast up. And a big one is going to be assembling the furler and the furler tubes and getting everything attached to the mast so that, of course, it can be secured properly to the boat. So Maddie and I are going to put the ProFurl furler together. Okay, I looked at the instructions and read over what had to be done and realized that this job is above my pay grade. So I will be Ty's assistant when it's time to put the furler together. But for now, the girls and I are gonna get the forestay ready and get the furling tubes put together because I know we can do that. So that's what we're gonna do.
Maddie was an absolute trooper and wanted to finish unwrapping the headstay before looking at her shoulder.
What's going on, Maddie?
It really hurts.
All right. Maddie got whacked by the toggle on the forestay on her collarbone. So
It's pretty swollen. Is it feeling better? No?
how you doing? Yeah. It's swollen, but it's not bruising, so we're gonna watch it for a little bit, and then if we need to take her to the doctor,
Feel a
we'll
little better?
get x-rays.
No?
Yeah.
No, it still feels
Yeah.
like sunken in
Like it's sunken in?
and numb, and then like right on my collarbone, it like right here,
Yeah.
it's like pulsing.
Oh. I'm gonna check on you in a minute, okay?
Okay, so I guess it's time for a quick little update. Yesterday, we were supposed to stand the mast at 10 a.m. However, I got here at, I don't know, maybe 7 and started to put the furler together. Got in over my head, so Ty said, just get the headstay and the furling tubes and start putting the furling tubes on the headstay. So I got the furling tubes unpackaged, got the first one out, and sadly, the furling tubes are a smaller diameter than the eye that US spars swaged onto the headstay. Now, here's an important thing about the headstay. It is a fixed length measurement, which means that if you cut it, it no longer is the right size for the boat. So, after much ado and conversation back and forth with US spars, they have remade the headstay and they have shipped it, but they're not overnighting it. So basically, because they're in Gainesville, it is a one-day transit, but it shipped out on Friday, which means we don't get it until sometime on Monday. So after that challenge, we've shifted gears a little bit and we are working this weekend on prepping the bottom of the boat. We are Scotch brighting all of the bottom paint so that we can do a thorough additional coat of anti-fouling all over. So we're gonna do along the waterline first, and any of the spots that we went over and treated because of the little bubbles that were there, those spots are getting anti-fouling. They've got the barrier coat on them already. Then after that anti-fouling has set, we will come back over the entire boat and we will do an additional coat of anti-foul over the whole thing. So then Ty's gonna work on those sail drive covers. Those still need to get seeked on and then painted, and we have to install the grounding plate. So hopefully by the time we get the new headstay, we'll be able to actually stand the mast on maybe Tuesday. So that's where we're at. That's what we're working on. Maddie's doing okay. She's a trooper and she's out here one-armed and she is getting sanding done. So we're all alive, we're all working, and we're all getting this project done.
We just got a text from his flight instructor that was late on flying today.
Alright guys, so what you're seeing us do is the first coat of a water line, and we always want to do multiple coats on the water line because that's of course the wear point. The reason we do the water line first instead of doing an entire bottom coat and then topping it off is that we don't want to see any lines. So it's the best way to hide it. You put the extra coat under the final coat that goes on. So that's on. We got 3 to 5 hours to wait for it to dry and cure out, and then we'll do one more coat over the entire thing and touch up our cool logo or tagline on the keels. So
So the tedious job of redrawing over the stencil with white bottom paint with the tiniest of paintbrushes is a very, very precise sort of thing. So we asked for some help. We got Ty's mom to come down from Hobe Sound, well, I guess come up from Hobe Sound and help us out.
So we got our replacement hardware, which is our head stay, and the last one had this eye on here.
It was swaged as one continuous piece.
Correct. So this is a swage where they take wire and they put it inside of this metal tube, and then there's a giant hydraulic press that squeezes this down and crimps down on top of the wire to hold it in place. Well, this doesn't fit through the furler on the head stay or the
Furling tubes.
Yes, that's right, the furling tubes. So
It's Monday.
It's Monday. So they swage this stud on so that we can put this through the furler after we assemble it, and then this will thread on the bottom if you thread it the right way. And then once we get it completely threaded down, what we're going to do is we're going to thread it so that this hole lines up with this hole, and then the cotter pin goes in to keep this from rotating and coming off. And
that's what is the stopping point for the proper measurement of the head stay, because this is a fixed measured piece of
correct
line.
So from this toggle to
Rigging.
here,
Rigging.
it is specific to the millimeter measurement that has to be assembled, and that is what we have. So we're gonna uncoil this, try not to hurt Madison again, and then we're gonna coil the other one back up and put it in the box and ship it back to them so they can use it for something else. So, all right guys.
Don't get hurt.
I'll try.
See if it fits in the box.
Close enough.
This might go in the bucket. The bucket. Sit. There we go. Now go.
Can I zip tie it?
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, even if we only put zip ties on loosely and then
Alright, we'll get it taped up, and there's a return label in here. And we'll ship it back with the other parts that they misshipped. I think we're ready to start.
Okay, so this is part of the reason why putting the furler together was above my pay grade. So it comes with, well, I'll show you here. Sorry about the glare, which you'll have to adjust the post. So it comes with these long, I don't know, arms, I guess you'd call them. And they're meant for different applications. Well, our applications requires that
It's a loaded to the deck installation, so we don't need anything that's really long like this. And these are supposed to be service or field cuttable. So they give you some detents on there that you can line up. Well, ours, the Leopard 50 was designed, when we looked at another 50, is that the cross beam is basically right here. So we don't want it all the way up in the air, because the farther that this goes up the forestay, the smaller the head sail is. So we want this to be down as close to the deck as possible. And so we're going to do a close to deck installation, and that is for, it says, for catamarans, old gaffers, or extensive charter or blue water cruising. So, well, we fall into two of those categories. So I'm drilling these. I'm then going to cut off the excess legs and show you how this all assembles together, because me describing it's just going to confuse everybody. But once you see it go together, it'll make perfect sense. Holes drilled. This will then come like so. I'm then going to take, so you see the distance from here to here, I'm going to cut this off at roughly the same distance, and then grind the edges so that it looks like this here. And then we can start assembling it and measuring our extrusions to know how long and how many extrusions we need to slide over the forestay. And then we can put it together so it goes on the mast. But there's multiple pieces, and this project takes, well, a rigger friend told us it takes about 2.5 hours to do this. He said an hour and a half if you're fast. We're not fast. So I'm gonna go on the 5-minute boat project, so half a day. About what it's been.
All right, Ty, so you've cut down those little arm things. Did that. And you rounded, look at that, you rounded the corners. So pretty.
All professional-like.
It's like you've done this before, but you haven't.
No.
This was your first time.
Not bad for my first time, huh? So now we've got a close to deck installation. The eye that will get threaded on the end of the forestay will come through here and go through this pin. And then this will actually hang on here that attaches to the deck. I suppose I should probably test fit all that, but that's the way all of that goes.
Are we ready to put our furling tubes out and lay them out so we know how much to cut off yet?
Let's see. All right, let's do that. Okay, we have done our one coat on all the wear surfaces and all the touch-up that we did, and we just finished one complete coat of the entire boat. And so now we're gonna peel the tape and see what it looks like.
Ooh, so fresh and clean. What do you think?
Oh, I love it. It's so pretty.
So pretty.
It is. I love it.
Ew. Wet tape is one of the most disgusting.
Oh, my tape line is beautiful. I did such a good job. I'm so proud of me.
You did such a good job.
I can't see the shoulder pad now.
Oh, here.
Don't throw it at your back, pat yourself on the shoulder. All right.
That's good though.
Wet tape is one of the most disgusting things. Get your ice blue Dauntless shirt today.
Can I have some more lacquer thinner, please? Sure.
Hello, pretty face. What do you think of the bottom paint? Oh, yes, hello. Oh, I just...
Okay, so what happened was we're now on the third missed shipments, missing parts, wrong parts from US Spars trying to get this mast put together. So if Kim will show you the furler, you dry fit the bottom and then you lay all these extrusions out until you get to the top. When you get to the top, usually it's too long and you have to cut some off, and that's why we dry fit it like this to measure it. Well, when we did that, as you can see, it was short, over 6 feet or 2 meters. And so this is the one that just showed up, and we're gonna see if we have the right length or if we need yet another one. So fingers crossed will be about this short. Oh, chicken dinner right
I don't even
there.
think we have to cut anything off. I mean,
Don't. We can just assemble everything the way it is. Excellent. Thank God. All right, now we're able to feed all these individual parts on, which will be the halyard lift and then all of the sections. So these guys have bearings that we're going to show you here in just a second, which sounds really fancy, but it's just a piece of aluminum with a plastic tube on the inside that the cable runs through, so just so the cable stays in the middle of the furler. So that's what we're going to do right now. So I put a plastic bearing in the connector. So they're actually kind of snazzy. I like these better than the Harkins. And then this little tab here, I couldn't figure it out. Kim had to show me. Slides in like so, and then you rotate it a quarter turn. So that it can't slide out. And this guy slides in right until it hits this crimp. This crimp area stops it.
I wondered about that crimp.
And then it kind of gives you the way to line it up. And then we're using Loctite.
And they actually sent that with
Correct.
the extrusion. So this is the recommended.
Correct. Put on the threads. And then the threads actually thread into the extrusion, and the smooth part pushes against the bearing. And well, it slides inside of this to keep this from sliding, and then it pushes on that plastic bearing on the inside.
And how tight do you tighten them down?
It's at like 35 inch-pounds, which is about, like, in my very technical measurement, about that much.
Ah, perfect.
And we want to make sure we don't get rocks or pebbles in the ends that could wear and chafe on the cabling.
Or cause problems.
Yeah, like a snap forestay. Alright. Put the Loctite on the other side. That's pretty much it. We're just working our way all the way down.
Well, that's exciting.
It is super exciting.
Because it means we might actually be able to stay on the mast.
That's right. But this is exciting to see once, but not 11 times. So we'll catch you on the other end when we put the furler on.
Sounds good.
All right.
Continue on.
Okay. Now we have to thread this eye, which of course has to be threaded so it can be removed to go through the extrusions. And we're gonna thread it until this hole in the threaded stud lines up with this, and then we're gonna put a cotter pin in it. Thanks, kid. Now these are stainless with lock nuts, so I do not need to put anything on there to make them anti-corrosion.
And because they're lock nuts, you don't have to use Loctite?
Correct. I might be getting slightly too old for some of this shit, or I'm out of shape. Feel free to comment.
Is that an invitation for me or for everyone else out there? All right, we'll leave it to everyone else out there.
I have a feeling that everyone else is going to be more supportive than you are.
You're not old, baby.
Just out of shape. Round is a shape. All right, guys. Other than me tightening these right here, we're fully and securely assembled. After we put it up, we'll have to, of course, run the halyard so we can put the sail up, and we'll have to disassemble this one more time to be able to put a furling line in. But other than that, the mechanical assembly of the furler is done. So I'm going to leave it on the ground right now for tonight, and then I'm going to put it up tomorrow morning. I just don't want the extrusions kind of bent and hanging off the side of the mast overnight. But yeah, we're ready to go up tomorrow. And you heard the crane guy, 10 o'clock tomorrow, she's going to be a sailboat again. 2 wrenches up. That almost looks professional. Yeah?
Yeah,
Almost.
totally.
Remember, if Ty can rig, so can you. Okay. I think it's beer 30.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.